Welcome to this session of AWS Portfolio Tutorial for Beginners. If you're here, you already understand how crucial projects are when it comes to landing a job. In fact, did you know that nearly 50% of your interview questions will revolve around your projects? Why? Because projects showcase your practical skills better than any certificates or courses you ever could do. Whether you are a fresher or even preparing for an AWS architect role, you already might know how important it is for you to build projects. Now, what if I tell you that your resume itself can become your great AWS project? Yeah, you heard right. Instead of just attaching a PDF file, you send an actual live dynamic AWS powered portfolio seamlessly deployed with CI CD mechanism in place. Just imagine the instant credibility this would bring you. Yeah, and that's exactly what my goal is for today. I will walk you through building and deploying your AWS portfolio using just two services. Yeah, you heard right, just two services. And not just explain it, we will actually build the entire project from scratch in this video. So make sure to follow along during the entire video to stand out in the pile of applications. Now let's get started. However, to inspire us to come up with more videos like this one, do make sure to subscribe to Intellipaat's YouTube channel, hit the bell icon as well. Before we dive in, all the project requirements and resources are documented in the link given below in the description. Just fill out the form to access them and build alongside me. Alright now, let's get started with the scenario. Every time you push an update like a new project, a skill upgrade, or it could even be the design tweak you want to add in your portfolio. Now, what if your portfolio automatically updates itself smoothly and the desired changes gets reflected in the real time as your portfolio is automated to the CI/CD, and top of it all, it is live on AWS. So you see, that's how things work here, with no need of manual uploads or deployment headaches, just pure automation. As until now, you might have understood that it's not just about hosting a portfolio, it's about proving that you can actually build, deploy, and automate like a pro. Now let's talk about what makes AWS great choice for your portfolio. When it comes to deployments, you might think about the free platforms like the GitHub Pages or Netlify. But since they come with limitations like restricted customization, traffic constraints, slow performance, limited scalability, and lack of backend support, especially as you grow. While AWS, on the other hand, offers faster loading times with CloudFront scalability to handle unlimited users and visitors, complete control over your website and deployments. Hosting on AWS is about learning cloud deployment, a skill that is highly valued by employers and recruiters nowadays. Now you might be wondering what actually is CI/CD and why do we need it? For that, let's go back to our previous example we talked about. Your portfolio that automatically updates itself every time you push any update or changes. That is only and only possible because of the CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD, which stands for Continuous Integration and Continuous Deployment. It ensures that each and every change that you make in your portfolio, that is the integrations, gets deployed seamlessly without any manual effort. And that is what deployments are. And that is exactly what CI/CD actually means. Without automation, every update means manually uploading files, hoping that everything must work right, and this can be slow and error prone, right? But with CI/CD, you only need to push your updated code to GitHub and the system does the rest. This approach saves you time by removing manual steps, reduces errors, and ensures consistency. It also adds the professionalism to your workflow. And here's the bonus tip. If you're aiming for software developer or even cloud DevOps roles, knowing AWS CI/CD will absolutely make you shine. And the best part is, it is easier than you actually think. Sounds unreal, right? Well, that's exactly what we are going to do and build today. Here, I will guide you through how to host your portfolio on AWS S3, set up CI/CD pipelines with GitHub Actions for the seamless deployments, automate updates so your portfolio stays fresh without any manual work. By the end of this tutorial, you will not only have a portfolio but a real-world AWS deployed pipeline-powered portfolio that works for you the best. Now let's see the execution part. Now that we have covered the concepts behind AWS CI/CD and why they are such a game changers for our portfolio, let's understand the architecture diagram depicting the flow of our project, where the user updates the portfolio website code or pushes changes or create files or uploads files and creates a pull request in GitHub. Next, the GitHub Actions detect the update and run the configured workflow files. Then, moving into the AWS cloud environment with IAM, where an IAM role with necessary permissions allow GitHub Actions to interact securely with the AWS services integrated in this. Now, the uploaded portfolio files are automatically updated into the S3 bucket, and boom, the updates made are reflected on the live hosted portfolio via GitHub Actions in the real time. Now, let's take a look at the portfolio we will be building and deploying today. But as I said before, this isn't just about hosting the portfolio. It's the tool to demonstrate your expertise in web dev, cloud deployment, automation, and scalability. And that's exactly what we are going to do and build today. So here is our portfolio, and here we have a modern and a clean look with smooth scrolling effect for our homepage, which also introduces who you are, your expertise and passion for building scalable solutions. The download CV button here allows visitors to instantly view your resume, making it easy for recruiters or collaborators to get in touch. As you can see, here it is. Your CV is live with real time progress and easily accessible for the recruiters. Moving next, we have the About Me section where you can highlight the tech stack including web dev, AWS, DevOps, or any other key skills which you want to, which is also visually represented with the progress indicators giving a quick overview of our proficiency levels. Then, it also has a timeline section where you can add your education status, internships, or previous job profiles that you want to highlight. Now, coming to the soul of our portfolio, that is our project section, where you can showcase the projects with an interactive card layout, which also includes the links to live demos and GitHub repos, which demonstrates the real world application knowledge. Next, we have this blog section where you can share your experiences, tutorials, and insights on various projects and tech trends, which also helps highlight your thought leadership into the field of your expertise. Finally, we have the contact section, making it super easy for anyone to reach out, whether it's a potential employer, collaborator, or someone who wants to discuss the tech stuff or cloud solutions. They can simply fill out the form and connect via LinkedIn, GitHub, or email. And now, here is the bonus step. It also has a light mode and a dark mode, whichever you prefer. Now that was a complete walkthrough of our portfolio. Every section here is built with impact, performance, security, and scalability in the mind. Hosted on AWS S3. Also, do let me know in the comments if you like it. Now let's get into the real action, where I will be guiding you through the entire setup from front-end development to cloud deployment and CI/CD automation. We will cover it all. So first things first, let's create our project folder and set up the essential files that I have already did. This is it, and this folder contains all the necessary files we need for our project. Coming to our portfolio, let's see how we can begin. So first, go to your GitHub, click here on the new repo. Now here, give the repo name. I will keep the previous description as I have already created my repository. Make sure to add me a README file cause it provides the perfect documentation for your project. Click on create repo. And here, first we are gonna upload our file that we created previously, which contains all the project material that we want and our project files. So since it's a folder, I'm gonna minimize it and drag it. That's it. As you can see, all the files in the folder are being uploaded. Yeah, this takes a while though, as it contains a lot of files. so that you can see everything is uploaded. So now commit the changes. Alright, a folder is perfectly uploaded. Now let's create another file which will be essential for our deployment purpose as it will contain our workflow file. So come here. And the code here, we will take it from my previous repo I have created. So copy entirely and paste it here. So this is our workflow file. And the main thing here is this word, that is the name of our source directory, should be matching with our project folder that we have uploaded on our GitHub repo. This website and this website is same cause this is the name of the folder that you have uploaded on your GitHub repo, which contains all the project files. Okay, so be careful about it. First we'll commit the changes. So this website folder here contains all the front-end files, that is HTML, CSS and JavaScript, also the included assets and images used in this project. And then this thing helps us to automate the deployment of our project. And this readme file here is for the project documentation and easy resource access. This structure keeps our project clean and organized. Making it easy to manage files separately for deployment as well as the development. As you can see, it is failing because we haven't configured the files yet, right? So I will show you that in the further process. But before that, you must be wondering what exactly is workflow file and why does it play a key role in the GitHub Actions pipeline, right? So you remember previously we talked about automation. That's exactly what GitHub Actions is all about. It's a built-in tool that helps automate tasks like testing, building and deploying code. So you can focus on the important stuff, that is writing the clean code. But how does GitHub know what to automate and how to automate? And that's where workflow files or YAML files come in. Think of them as a set of instructions that tell GitHub Actions what to do whenever you push changes to your portfolio. Let me show you that. And let's understand the YAML file first. In simple terms, the workflow files act as a trigger for the automated deployment of our project. So how this file works is, whenever it detects any changes or updates that has been pushed to GitHub, it updates your files to S3 automatically, ensuring everything is public and smoothly deployed. Thus, instead of manually uploading files and setting permissions every time, this workflow is what does it all for you, like an autopilot mode. So let's understand it. This over here contains the name of your workflow file, whatever you want to name it. It makes it easier to identify by the GitHub Actions. Second, this is called as triggering the events, where this workflow runs whenever you push changes to the main branch. It ensures that the changes made into your portfolio are automatically deployed whenever you commit and push new changes. And whatever the changes you made, as long as they are on the main branch, everything gets deployed automatically. Then comes the next thing, that is defining the jobs. The job is named here, that is deploy, and that will run on a Linux based virtual machine. The machine that we have used here is Ubuntu latest in the GitHub servers. Then moving to the next steps, there are the steps to execute. The checkout repository fetches your repository code into the GitHub Actions runner, ensuring that the workflow has access to all the files in your project folder. Remember the website folder? Exactly that. It gives access to all the files in your project. Coming to the next step, that is sync files to S3. What it does it It syncs your portfolio files stored in the website directory to your S3 bucket using the Jake Jarvis S3 sync action, which is provided by the GitHub Actions marketplace itself. And the arguments here, that is ACL public read, it ensures all the files are publicly accessible. Next, the thing is follow symlinks, which follow symbolic links in your projects. And then this delete argument removes files from S3 that no longer exist in your repository, keeping the S3 bucket clean and maintained. Now, the last section contains the environment variables, configuring AWS credentials using GitHub secrets to authenticate the S3 upload. Now, I'll show you how to configure this environment variables into GitHub Actions. So that was it. Simple, right? Now that our portfolio is ready, let's deploy it using the GitHub Actions and AWS. Let's go to AWS. Click on S3. Here we are going to set up an S3 bucket to host our portfolio. For that, come here, click on Create Bucket. Name your bucket. I will give it as Portfolio AWS. So this will be our name, Portfolio Bucket CI/CD. Then enable the ACLs, that is access control lists basically. Keep it as it is. Turn the block all public access off. Acknowledge it. Enable the versioning. So versioning is what helps us to keep all the versions of your buckets as it is. You can use it later when needed. Now click here. This was our bucket which we created just now. So why we choose S3, right? Because S3 serves as a storage for our website files, and it also helps us configuring the permissions correctly, ensuring the safety and security of our website as it is publicly accessible. Next step is using IAM. For that, go to the search tab, search IAM. Here it is, click it. Now this is the IAM dashboard. From here, go to users, create user. I'll name it as GitHub. We don't need to provide this whole access to AWS Management Console, so I'll skip it. Next, we have to attach the policies. Search here. S3 full access. Yeah, here it is. Next. You only need the S3 bucket permissions, so S3 full access is just fine. Now click on Create User. Click on it. Go to Security Credentials. Here, create access keys. Click on Other. Next. You can describe anything. For now, I'll give it as GitHub access. Create access key. And here, our access key and secret access key that we are going to need for the authentication of GitHub Actions is here. Don't close this tab as we are going to need it for the further things. Now come to your GitHub. Click on your project. Go to settings. Scroll down here to secrets and variables. Click on actions. Click on new repository secrets. And here, AWS S3 bucket, as we have used it in our workflow files. Let me show you. See, this is needed for this. So let's configure the secret now. And for this, we are going to need the bucket name. So this is our bucket name. Copy it. paste it, add. Now again new for the access key. Now let's go to the IAM tab, copy the access key and paste it here, add it. Now again we have to use it for the secret key here, secret access key. Go to IAM tab, copy the secret access key, come to GitHub, paste it, add secret. Okay, since everything is just working fine until now, now let's go to our portfolio repo and refresh this once. Now go to our S3. Okay, now come back to the our S3 bucket. Click on the permissions. Click on this edit bucket policy. As we don't have any, we have to generate one. Click on policy generator. Now here, click on S3 bucket policy, effect allow. The principle should be ARN of the IAM user we have created previously. I'll open a new tab, go to IAM, users. This is our user. Copy the ARN of this, go to the bucket policy, paste it in the box of principles. Now here, select all actions. And now, this should be the ARN of our S3 bucket. Here it is, copy it. All actions, generate policy. Now copy the whole policy, close it, and here, paste it. Save changes, and here, our bucket policy is successfully set. Now, let's move to the properties, and we are gonna do the website hosting. Enable it. Keep it as index.html, as we have already configured it in our GitHub repo. Yeah, so everything is perfect. Save changes. Here it is. And this will be the link for our portfolio. First, let me come to the objects, refresh it. As you can see, everything is deployed seamlessly, and here is a check. Let's check it once. So everything is working just fine, and everything is automated for now. Let's check our S3 bucket that everything is updated or not. Okay, refresh this, and here it is. Everything is updated and deployed. Now let's check the URL. And this final step completes our automation, as any feature updates will be there that will be deployed automatically with just a git push. Now every time you update your code, your portfolio updates automatically. No manual uploads or no extra efforts. Now let's check whether it updates in real time or not. Go to your website, index page. We'll change something. Software engineer, no, cloud engineer will be better, right? So coming here, just switch it to cloud here as well. Commit changes. Now this change will trigger a workflow file and it will redeploy itself. Let's see. Yes, it is in process. Let's check how things work in behind the scenes. Okay. All the jobs are running just fine. And here it is, the job is completed. It's deployed. Now let's check our portfolio. This was it, right? Refresh. And it has been changed to the cloud engineer. So everything is automated and deploying just fine. And that's a wrap now.